Podcast, the best of the underground. Big Madness, your ritual.
Hey, what's going on, folks? I'm the Hexakin. You're listening to Ritual Madness Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. I have an extra special guest on Skype with me tonight. Botgrinder is a freestyle pilot. Some of you guys know that I'm kind of a drone freak. I like to monkey around with the drones and whoop around and cause trouble and mayhem and all that other stuff. So I've been kind of watching some of these YouTube guys that are fantastic pilots, the Rotor Riot guys, and I kind of stumbled on Botgrinder. And Botgrinder is mad metal and punk rock and does cool shit in graveyards and flies around. And I was totally into his style, and what the music that he was throwing on his videos were amazing. So I hit him up one Friday night after a podcast and just said, dude, we should do a podcast together. And he actually responded to me, which is super cool. I watched a ton of your videos, bro, and it's super cool for you to respond back and like, hey man, let's do it. And I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and do a small interview with me. How you doing tonight, man?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I'm stoked to be here, man. I'm doing great. Like, I've been in a bunch of bands, and no podcast ever wanted to interview me for any of my bands. So now I'm living out that fantasy through drones.
Yeah,
it's fucking great.
So are any of the podcasts approaching you now, or anything like that?
The FPV ones, yeah. I've been on every one except for Team Failsafe and fucking what is it? The Rotor Riot one, unrestricted.
Right.
You're the only like music one that's reached out, but I've been on all the drone podcasts.
Badass, man, badass. So how have they been have people responded to them? Are they this is something you can pick up on Stitcher, or this is like a video podcast, or what?
What, the ones that I've been on?
Yeah,
the podcasts.
Yep.
Well, the FPV show, that's a big one here. It's FPV.FM. That's my favorite one. But there's also Spun Podcast, my other favorite. I would just Google it. I don't know. They're probably on some different lists. I'm just not familiar with them.
So, I mean, podcasts something that you like to check out on a regular basis, or what?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of podcasts. I've actually been slacking in my game of listening a little bit, except for the FPV ones. But I like to listen to all different kinds.
Right.
I got that new quad box gig, so I've been so fucking busy. Like,
yeah, dude.
I need to just chill.
Let's fucking start with that one, actually, man. I mean, how? Yeah, so I saw the video. You're like, hey, I got a job, was like the header, and I'm like, sweet. What does he do for? It intrigued me to ask you, like, what is he doing? I want to check this out. And then you said quad box. Now, quad box is something that Chad Capper kind of came up with, right, from Rotor Riot, the guy who started Rotor Riot.
It's Rotor Riot and X-Hover together.
Awesome. And what
X-Hover, makers of the Stingy frame and the Win 5 frame.
Oh yeah. So what exactly does quad box do? If you could explain to the listeners.
Quad box is a monthly subscription box. Sort of like Loot Crate. A lot of people are familiar with Loot Crate,
yep.
But subscription box.
Sure.
But this is for drones, for FPV drones in specific. You get, for $20, $25 a month, you get a t-shirt, some propellers, a tool, a wild card item. And then you can up it for $20 more a month and get a mystery electronic, like a flight controller, or we did motors. You get a frame, possibly, just like, something higher quality for the add-on.
Nice.
So $50 a month, you get a bunch of cool quad stuff. My whole thing was like, I pay $20 just for the shirt every month.
Right.
That's fucking badass. But I get props on top of that and everything else.
See, you're lucky because you seem like you would be like a XL, 2XL maybe tops. I'm
XL
a big
guy, yeah.
I'm a big fat bastard, so I'd be like, oh man, they sent me a schmedium. You know what I mean?
You can put your size. You put your size in there, what you want.
Oh, dude, I actually ordered
your size shirt.
I ordered your OG Botgrinder shirt, man, and it still hasn't got here. I got it.
Was it the last campaign?
It was I ordered it probably 2 weeks ago or something like that. And
because they don't mail till the campaign ends.
Oh, right on.
So you just have to wait. And that one just ended, so people are getting their shirts now. You should be getting it.
Okay. Yeah, sweet. So now with Quadbox, did they hired you on? I mean, obviously you've got an open kind of style, man. I mean, you got your forehead tattooed, you're full of tattoos. I mean, you're not like, if people know the Rotor Riot gang, you're not like the quintessential Rotor Riot cat. You're like outside the box, and I love it, man. You add flavor to that crew. If that's, I mean, are you officially a part of Rotor Riot now or what?
I know. I feel like intern. Honestly, I'm friends with Rotor. I'm friends with Rotor. You know, I do my Botgrinder thing, but I love working with them, and any chance that I get to do anything with them, I'm on top of.
It's been
And you know,
quite a
being part
bit
of the
lately.
quad box team, and then doing the quad camps, I'm helping out with that too. It's amazing.
So with
It's like just hanging out with Rotor Riot.
with the quad box stuff, I mean, are they allowing you to have your say and put cooler shit in there or what?
Oh yeah, yeah. They're like, if you here's the budget, find cool shit.
Oh,
And
nice.
there's some other people on the team too, but I'm now there to help. And you know, when they're busy doing other Rotor Riot stuff, I'm trying to find the cool shit for the boxes.
Awesome.
I'm like,
Dude.
we're working on some pretty neat things, some pretty cool redesigns of things too that are coming out. Shit, I'm excited about.
So I know that you're located in Philadelphia. Are you originally from Philadelphia?
Nah, I'm from LA, like north of LA a little bit, but close enough to Los Angeles where I just say I'm from Los Angeles.
Right. So
I'm
what
actually from Goleta, California is where I was born and raised.
what made you move to Philadelphia, the home of the
When I was
Eagles?
about 16, I fucking got caught smoking weed and I got kicked out of my house. And I was like, shit, I'm homeless. I don't want to be homeless in my fucking hometown.
Right.
So I just started traveling. And there, from then on, was 10, 15 years of like on and off hobo life. Just riding trains, panhandling, fucking drinking, doing drugs, whatever. Just living that hobo life.
So
And I eventually, East Coast, fucked with Philly like 10 years ago.
right.
And once I like quit doing drugs and shit and like wanted to get my stuff together, I bought my house in Philly for 18 grand, fucking move in ready, like super cheap.
Damn.
Thanks. Thank you, Bitcoin.
Is it so did you are you in an okay neighborhood or are you in
It depends on your your perspective. I love where I'm at. I am not homeless. I love my house. I love my neighbors.
well, dude,
There's
it's not
people
like
might say I
it's
live
not
in the
like
hood.
you're not rough around the edges, man. I'm sure people don't run up to you and want to mess with you anyways, you know what I'm saying? Like cats like us that are tattooed and, you know, I mean, I'm a fairly roughneck fucking dude, so not many people go, oh, let's mess with him, you know? They're like,
Yep.
I see, yeah. So that's
Everybody's asking me about my tattoos pretty much, and it's cool. I'm used to that. I'll talk about it all day.
yeah, that's awesome. So let me see here. What got you into FPV and in the drone community? What started you flying drones and getting things going that way?
I had a Hubson X4, one of those little toy grade drones, and I was playing with it for like a year. My buddy had one. We'd like cruise around, and then I was like, I wonder if anybody races these little toys or anything. So I just Googled drone racing. I had no idea about any FPV, anything at all. Like I just had a toy drone. And then I saw Googling FPV racing. I saw a Sharpoo video, one of his early ones where he's flying through the abandoned buildings in I think Spain or whatever. And I was just like, that's probably wrong. It's probably LA or something. But I was like, holy shit, what is this? And then I saw they have the Fat Sharks on. And that immediately, I claim cyberpunk. I love cyberpunk shit. So
Right.
when I saw he was flying it first person with these goggles, it was it. I was like, I am doing this. I don't give a shit. I have
Right.
to do this.
Right. So that's what that's what you have tattooed on your what that would be your left side over there. You got some like
That's
yeah
yeah,
like
so
circuit boards.
circuitry. It's
Yeah,
supposed to be
yeah.
little trace patterns. It could have been done a little better, but it was free.
No, that's all good, dude. So you saw the drone the fat sharks and you wanted to be in that cockpit and flying
Yes,
around.
I had to do that. I had to fly drones first person, and then resulting Google searches after that, I found DRL and the racing league and all that, and then it was just being obsessed with it until I got money to order my first piece of shit ZMR pre-built kit and my Quantum D2 giant goggles,
Yeah.
and I did. That was a year and a half ago, and I haven't stopped. Every day, every other day. I've taken maybe a 3 or 4 day break in that year and a half, but I'm soldering something. You know,
So dude,
I'm
you've only
editing
been
videos
flying
at
for a year
least.
and a half?
For a year and a half, yeah, straight.
Wow, man, you jumped leaps and bounds. I actually had one of those Hubsons. The Hubson was one of the first ones that I bought, and then I bought a Phantom 3 standard
Yep.
from a buddy of mine for like $250, and I started getting into that, and I crashed it a whole bunch, and I met this cat
Yep.
here in the Twin Cities. Just through this old guy I found on the internet. I'm like, how the hell, who can fix these things, you know? So I got a hold of this cat and he sent me to this younger dude, right? So I go to the guy's house and I come into his house and I'm like, it kind of smells like weed in here, you know? I'm like, all right, does this dude smoke or what? So here I go as I drop a $500 drone, you know, at this dude's doorstep. He said, I'll have it back to you by Saturday, you know? It's like 2 days later, you know? So I leave, and then he calls me up, and he goes, "Yeah, man, your drone's done. You can come pick it up." And I go, "Hey, man, just a question for you." I'm like, "Do you smoke weed?" And he's like, fuck yeah. So then when I showed up,
Proud.
I brought a bunch of edibles with me, and we fucking had a good conversation. It was awesome. But since then, that's the guy, my buddy, shout out to Kyle. Kyle actually is the dude who got me into FPV and actually got me to buy a Whoop, and we built that shitty little ZMR you were talking about. I just built one of those, and he helped me do that. So I have yet to fly a true freestyle drone. I'm whooping in my Phantom and shit, but I've got a Torn as well, but nothing that can really crank along. Let me see here.
You don't got your 5-inch rig yet. I gotcha.
Yep.
My my ZMR real quick.
Yeah.
That is my only frame. I have a wall of broken frames behind me. My ZMR is the only frame that isn't broken. My first drone is the only one that's not broken, and I love that. So I'm never gonna fly it again.
Really?
It's still in peace. Yeah. Just because it was new and I didn't like fly that aggressive at all before I moved on to different frames.
So what was your second frame after that ZMR? What was the next one? What was the first one you broke?
A Martian 2 clone. The clone Martian 2 everybody buys. I'm against clones, but I was broke. I needed shit. It was $20. Give me that frame so I can fly. Yeah. Which nothing wrong with that.
What was your
fly your Martians so you can afford a better one. But Martians all day till I found BQE multi-rotors, my current frame company and sponsor, and they don't fucking break. That's why I was like, oh my god, this is my first real freestyle rig. I feel like. Because Martians were still practiced and they'd break pretty easy.
Right. And is that the same frame that you just did a video like a couple months ago, and you're saying about how durable they were, right?
Yep. The BQE 210, and I'm prototype testing my frame, the Botgrinder frame right now, which is going to be BQE designs. And that one is going to be just as durable.
So just recently, man, I saw that you scored your own style motors from Hype Train, correct? Now those are the
hype grinders.
Dude, those things are so dope. When you had that picture and you're holding it up, it's got the like the black metal fucking logo on it with the circuitry on the top. Dude, that thing looks super sick. So how are they selling? How are they being received?
The initial batch sold out, and like within an hour or so they were gone.
Oh shit.
So we're getting more. I believe more being shipped tomorrow or the next day from the factory. We should have them up on the store and most online FPV retailers in about a week, maybe sooner.
Oh, that's awesome, man! Congratulations on that, by the way. That's fucking very cool.
I'm in love with those motors. They're the cleanest, smoothest motors I've ever ran. Except I did like the original Hype Trains, and I like the Velvet Oomps that Armenton has. Those are smooth as shit too, but mine are way more durable and smooth.
Nice. The good plug on that one. Let me see here. So, is it? Do you fly just for fun, or do freestyle, or race, or compete, or any? I mean, you do just basically freestyle, or what?
I freestyle 5-inch exclusively. I don't race just because I'm really bad at it. But I race tiny whoops. I host and race tiny whoop events at least once a month in Philadelphia, or another person in our local group will have one, and I'll just like MC it or help out, messing up the channels and all that. But I love tiny whoop racing. It's so fucking fun, and I hate racing 5-inch.
Yeah. I mean, you seem like you can, indoors. You're it would be so much easier with the little small thing flying around. Yeah. I mean, outdoors, man, you seem to really just let it rip when you get out there and just let it all hang out, which is just fucking awesome.
Racing's a little too constricting for my freestyle mindset.
Yeah, you would just want to do flips around things instead of going.
I just want to punch that bitch to the moon. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. Seems like you like to do that quite a bit, man. So here's kind of an off the wall question. So when did you start smoking the devil's lettuce?
I'd say I was about 15 years old, probably.
Yeah.
1995.
Is that something you maintain for the rest of your life? Is it medicine for you?
I don't know any other way, man. I mean, if my body and brain one day is like, don't do this no more, I'll try to listen to it. But so far, I haven't murdered anybody.
Right.
I'm gonna keep doing what's doing.
Yeah, right on, man. I'm totally down with you there, man. Okay, we already answered what your first quad was. Let me see here. Now you were talking just before we went on the air about some of the bands that you were in. You in a band right now?
I am in a brand new one. I have this guitar player, my best friend, my hetero life mate. We've been in probably 5 or 6 bands together. So that was in Georgia last time we were in a band. Now we both live in Philadelphia. We're starting a new band. But we had Bum Feeder. Before that we had Gripe, which Gripe did pretty well. That was like our bigger band. But now we are starting No Applause. It's going to be like a kind of 90s fastcore shout out tribute band, but with a little bit of grind aspect still, because we have to grind eventually. Like, there's no way around it.
Absolutely, man.
So yes, no applause. We actually had our first band practice yesterday and wrote like structure for 4 songs. Is moving along awesomely.
Well, I suppose with a guitar player that's used to jamming with you, and he's probably got a lot of ideas and just be able to stamp them up. So with that guitar player, did you guys find a bunch of cats in Philly to slam with you, or what?
We usually do 3-piece bands, so we just grab a drummer, you know, and then do some sort of grind. Or we even had a D-beat band before D-beat got really big,
right?
But it was like a little faster. That was Wolf Charge back in the day. Wolf Charge was so drunk and fun.
So you play bass?
What now?
You play bass?
I sing.
Oh,
so we got a guitar, drummer, and me singing usually, but no applause. We have 2 guitar players and a bassist and a drummer and me singing.
Okay.
So it's the first time I've done a band that big, and I really hope like people will just fucking get their shit together because I don't have a lot of patience for it.
Right. You'd rather be
I'm not gonna go to practice. Y'all write the fucking songs. I'll show up and sing. I'll be a total rock star douchebag about it. Get your shit together, bandmates.
What are some of your favorite bands?
I mean, Wormrod, Insect Warfare, or for like punk and grind and shit, 2 top favorites. They satisfy something primal in me that nothing else can. But day to day, I listen to a lot of hip hop.
Really?
Basically. Yeah.
What are some of your favorite hip hop?
Punk and everything, but if I want to go fly drones, I'm putting on hip hop.
Nice. So you throw in some headset while you're flying around, or what?
Yeah, it definitely depends on the location. If there's people around and shit, I want to be able to hear things, or like a spotter you're supposed to have, but just my buddy standing there smoking weed. I want to have him be like, you know, there's somebody down the way or something. But if I'm all by myself, 2 headphones in, can't even hear the quad, just blast music.
Nice.
It definitely makes you fly different, not being able to hear anything. Like, you go for shit more so than you shouldn't.
Right.
But if you pull it off, the video looks sick.
Now, when it comes to putting a video together when you're flying, is there a lot of stuff that you edit out, a lot of crashes that you edit out, or do you really fly that hard that because I've always heard that if you're not crashing, you're not pushing yourself to do better tricks and harder things. Is that
There's truth to that. There's a balance though. I mean, don't, especially if you have one quad and it's fragile, don't extend yourself too much, but try a little bit.
Right.
And then once you get better, I feel like you know what you physically can do, what you're capable of. When you're starting out, you're like, I don't know if I can do this, so you do it. Which you do later on, but you know more so what not to do. What you fucking don't do that over concrete if you're not sketchy. If you're sketchy on it, like maybe do that power loop over a tree first or something.
Right.
But I leave in my crashes on purpose, not all of them, but a lot of them, because I feel like most people edit those out, and that's fine, nothing wrong with that. But I like to seem a little more relatable, down to earth in my videos or whatever it is.
Right.
So I leave in the crashes because that shit happens a lot.
All right, man. So like a lot of these videos, I saw your girlfriend at the time in one of your videos. She was explaining to one of the guys that the music that he was using in his video was stuff that she listened to when she was on her period. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, tampon rock. Yeah, that was a drib. He picks period music, and period music became a thing for a minute too. Everybody was talking about his tampon rock.
Yeah, that's hilarious, man. So I just wanted, I think your music choices for your videos are sick, man. I really honestly do. Do you think that your music choices set you apart from a lot of the other pilots that are out there doing YouTube videos?
100%. Especially ones that are more well known or whatever. There's a lot of dudes that got 30 subs that are putting sick metal in their videos. They just don't get that much exposure. But as far as people that get seen a lot, everybody else says royalty free electronic music, and that's cool, man. Get your YouTube money. I don't get that much from YouTube. I would make like $40 a fucking month.
Sure.
I'd rather put the music I want to put in it than get that little bit of money from me.
So the same night that I hit you up about doing the podcast, I'm watching the video, and all of a sudden it breaks into a Cannibal Corpse, and I was like, yeah! And then one of the last videos that I watched, I think it was last week, there was one where you had Dolly Parton's Jolene in it, and it's one of my favorite songs. It's super silly, but when I heard it, I was like, damn, I like that dude even more.
Hell yeah. That was actually the Miley Cyrus version.
Oh, yeah.
Which when I was editing that video, I put the Dolly version because that's her song and she's sick. But the Miley one, I feel like the tempo is almost slightly different and it fit the video better.
Her voice is a little stronger,
name. Like, I'm all about that song.
Oh, nice. She's in the background there, too, isn't she?
Yeah. Jolene. Yeah, she doesn't care, but yeah.
She's like, yeah, he does this all the time. Talks to this weird camera thing and smiles at the camera. All right, let me see here. How long did it take you to do your first power loop?
Oh, forever.
Did it?
I remember the first one too was around just a football goalpost, and it was clean too. After like trying them a bunch and failing, man, maybe 8 damn months, 6, 8 months into the hobby.
No
Like, I
shit.
didn't really try that hard at first, and then there was one day that I was just like, "Oh, I want to do freestyle, like good," you know.
Yeah. And for those of you who are listening that don't know what a power loop is basically you're going in a straight line, and then you start to ascend upwards, and as you're ascending upwards, you're going backwards, and then you just do like its description, a power loop. You just go straight and all the way into a full loop. And I mean, you're to the point now, man, where you're twisting and turning all the way through the whole thing too. I've seen you, the one that you guys were doing the simulator, where you guys were doing the quad simulator. That was pretty sick. Where you did the trick, and then you're like, you slowed down like midway through the loop, and you're like, whoop, right through the hole, and you know, right out the other side. And they're like, no, you didn't do the trick. It was fucking awesome. You got to watch the videos. So make sure you check Botgrinder out on YouTube, by the way. Let me see here. What are some of the best ways you think it would be for a pilot such as myself, who's really kind of just getting into the hobby, to improve as a pilot?
Just that stick time, as they say. Like, get out there as often as you can and just fly. Jeff Orta, Vortex, good buddy. He has a video that he made for me probably, I don't know, 6 months ago. That was like 5 tips on improving, and it was like subtitled, "This is for Botgrinder," because I was struggling. Like, I wanted to get good. He has some great tips in there. Definitely go to Vortex's channel and see that. But yeah, for me, it was just practice. Mess with your rates, mess with your profile, your PIDs, and all that. A well-tuned quad, when it's well-tuned, it's not sloppy. It doesn't slide around on the ass when you're flying and bounce back when you roll. It's tight and locked in and predictable. That will help you so much too, having a good, well-tuned quad.
Now, I saw in one of your videos you were thanking somebody who actually gave you their PID rates, and you were like, "This is what locked in means." You were like, "I finally understand what locked in means."
Yep.
I have absolutely no clue, and my buddy Kyle is one of them dudes that knows all of that shit. And we've been trying to talk about him showing me how to do the PID rates, but I would love to be able to lock that shit in. And I think we're gonna work on that stuff with the ZMR that we built here too. Dude, as soon as I saw that you got those motors, I was like, I'm buying these motors. And then I saw on the next feed it said sold out, and I'm like, fuck.
Immediately. Yeah. I actually only own 8 of them personally, and they're my motors because I'm waiting on more. I have enough for 2 builds, and I have my prototype ones, but for the production, I only have 8 motors.
Wow, that's pretty sick, man. But so I mean, are you, them doing so well so fast? I mean, you got to feel great about that, man. That's a huge huge.
It's super surreal still. You know what I mean? Like, it's starting to sink in, and I'm just like, oh, the bad reviews, but there are none because they're great motors. I'm just like, oh, like somebody say something bad, get it over with.
Right. Well,
but they're fucking great. I'm super proud of them.
Well, you've kind of been pumping the hype train motors for quite some time. The other style motors of the hype trains, you were really, really into them. I seen one video where you were rocking your hype trains on one thing, and then you got a pair of white top Emax motors, and you were like, these ones have a lot of zip, but you went right back to your hype trains. You're like, I fucking love these hype trains. You kept saying that, and so that's,
I do, man. They just have this top end that no other motor had, and because I have a lot of those shit moments, I'm going to crash and I have to go full throttle to reverse direction immediately.
Right.
And they had that power to do that. And when you want to punch above something really high, like normally they have that top end to take you there instead of just maxing out at a certain RPM.
Right. So
big fan of the hype train line.
When you started doing your prototypes for the Botgrinder motors, what I mean, did you really have hands-on? Were you hands-on? Did they really want to know what you wanted and what you liked about their style of motors and stuff?
Yeah, there's a huge thread in our little group chat of what exactly I wanted them to be. But I started with basically like, I want them to be affordable and durable and have the power that I need for low end, high end, And they sent me some samples of what they can do in the factory. I tested a bunch out. I settled on one, and then we started making the changes from there, like what I wanted the motor to have, what I wanted, the KV and the stator size to be and everything.
That's fucking.
And we did, we tried titanium screws for the top for the threads, and ultimately settled on steel because titanium is stronger, but it was malleable. When you would land upside down and skid, it would burr the threads and make the prop nuts hard to get on and off. So steel is plenty strong, and that doesn't happen. It's a harder metal.
Oh, right on. Well, that's something.
So just little changes like that, little detail things like that. Like your prop nuts would be annoying as shit to get on and off if they were titanium.
Right, right. So when you started getting into it, now were you finding other people? Were you seeking out other people to get into it with you? I mean, were you finding groups and things like that were into it as well? I mean, were you looking for groups to go hang out and actually learn more about the community?
When I started flying Philadelphia, the Philly Quad Squad had hosted a race in an abandoned hotel. Forget what the hell it was called, but I saw that on YouTube, and that was like, they'd done the race a few months before I started FPV. And I was like, cool, there's guys that race drones in abandoned hotels here, fucking badass. And then I reached out to them, and a few of them, they didn't fly that much. They're going to school or had to work and stuff. And then I noticed my boy Zaggy, shout out Zaggy, he was always out there. He's an old timer. He was always flying his drones every Sunday at the park. So I'd go out and fly with him and the rest of the squad and everything. And, they had a little crew, 5-6 people at a time. And now we go out. We had 30 people our last meetup, I think, something like that. And those are 30 everyday flyers. Like everybody flies all the time. I definitely was seeking the community, and the one that we have now, everybody that flies, like the solid core people, they love it. They love FPV. They're obsessed, just as obsessed as I am with it. So having that is awesome, especially for the beginners, because I didn't have that. I only had the few people, which I was grateful for. But now we have bro, you need parts. I had to drive hours to get parts from people because nobody was in town with shit. And now there's so many of us. You'd be like, yeah, come over. I got a motor for you or whatever.
Nice, that's badass.
We have a great community.
So give a shout out to some of the other homies that are in Philly that you fly with on a regular basis.
Oh, the Quad Squad. I mean, the one Jay Lamont, my boy Honey Tap, all the time. Twitch and Earl, FPV, K City. I mean, God, I'm gonna leave out so many people. Wiggles FPV is the one that taught me how to tune my quad, and I mad appreciate that.
You said Wiggles?
The pilot I am
Wiggles.
Today.
Wiggles FPV?
Yeah, Wiggles.
Yeah, that's the guy you were talking about.
School.
Yeah. That's
badass. Wiggles?
Well, no, you were saying him in that video you were taught. That was the guy that you gave a shout out. You're like, now I know what locked in is. That's awesome.
Yep, that was because of Wiggles.
Very cool. So what was your first sponsor, and how did you get sponsored the first time?
My first sponsor they were back then Drone Racing Warehouse. They're now DroneRacingParts.com. They hit me up and were like, hey, we want to sponsor you. I was flying in New York, and a couple of the dudes, the owner and some of the other team pilots met up with me in New York randomly. So I was like, hey, I'm in town, just to dive this skull building. It was an older video. And when I got sponsored, my sponsorship video is the ugliest flying I've ever fucking done in my life. And I want to take it down. It's so bad, but I'm like, nah, I see my progression. It's fine. I'm over it.
Yeah.
But they reached out to me, they want to sponsor you. And I was like, fuck yeah, because I break a lot of shit. I ain't got a lot of money. This is great. And, they've sent me so much shit over the year, me being sponsored by them. The race cars definitely hooked me up in the beginning. And then after that, 6 more people reached out to me, and I have 7 sponsors.
7 sponsors.
But,
well, give a shout out to all the sponsors if you want to.
I hope I remember them. DroneRacingParts.com, definitely. Rotor X, the maker of the Atom, they're fucking sick. Alien Whoop, the new hot shit in tiny whoop technology that you can never get. It's so rare. Immersion RC, of course, they're the huge player in the game. Oh my God, I'm gonna forget everything, aren't I? Oh, Race 412, they make the $5 pagodas. I love them. And I'm fucking missing shit. I'm really gonna go look at my YouTube to see what my sponsors are.
Do it, man. Do it.
One of my things was I smoke a lot of weed, right?
Yeah, I totally understand, man.
Oh my God. Drone Racing Parts Immersion. BQE multi-rotors. How could I forget? BQE multi-rotors. We talked about that earlier. That's who makes the Botgrinder frame that's coming out. And sorry, Bill. I'm wearing the hat though, so I guess that makes up for it. They make the frames that I fly.
So what
and BQE.
what is the what is the time frame for your frame to come out?
I mean, I got that shit right here. I'm durability testing it. Can you see that?
I can kind of see it. I can kind of see it.
I wanted you to kind of see it, but not really. It's durability testing is what I'm doing. I'm doing a redesign. I can tell you that I wanted to make it top and bottom mount, but I'm scrapping the bottom mount option, so it's gonna be top mount battery only. And I'm gonna smash it into fucking everything for another month, and if it holds up, then we're going to production for it.
You bringing it out to Colorado and smashing it into windshields or what?
That one, what did I have? I did bring them. No, that wasn't the prototype. I'm sorry, that was a normal BQE. But I built a frame especially for that. I think it was my Ram brand Opti V2. I think that was a smashing one because I didn't care if I broke it.
Now we
It's a good frame. It's a good frame. It was just, out of all the ones I have, whatever.
Yeah. So how would one go about getting sponsored if they were fully into the FPV community, like die hard? How would one go about contacting people to get sponsored? Do you have any kind of tips for that?
I mean, basically, you're gonna have to reach out to companies, send them videos, and be like, "Hey, this is me. Check me out." But you're gonna have to have something that somebody else doesn't have. You're gonna have to stand out somehow. I fucking smoke a bunch of weed and I have tattoos on my forehead and I vlog, right? So there we go. That's my shtick. Don't fucking steal it. But no, vlogging really helps because everybody likes to see the personality behind the pilot. You can do flying videos all day, and there's so many people that do. There's so many amazing pilots that aren't really that known just because all they do is fly. There's nothing that really will like stand out, engage people to come back, except for your flying. And there's so many of us now. I feel you have to vlog. You're gonna have to do cool edits. You're gonna have to do silly shit or whatever, to really stand out.
So what got you into vlogging? Actually, what was the first thing that you were like, oh man, I've got to jump on this deal? Who inspired you to do your first vlog?
It wasn't even like that. I was fucking lost in the graveyard that I fly at all the time. I was legit lost for like an hour, just fucking stumbling around. And I was like, oh, I see everybody vlogging. I'm going to try this because maybe it'll be funny, me being lost in the graveyard. And that was the first vlog. And people responded to it well. It's like, tight, I'm going to do this again. And then it just like became my thing, is to vlog. I had just more like flight videos before. Now it's vlogs. I really enjoy editing them. I think they're fucking hilarious and I love doing it.
How long are your normal vlog videos with do you do some with and without flying, or is it all with flying?
I've only have one without flying. That's when I went to New York because I had to save the footage for Rotor Riot. But for a Rotor Riot episode, I like to keep them under 10 minutes. And I want it to be, just like my little story of my day of why I went to go fly that spot, pretty much. Like my most recent vlog was me and Zorro going gorilla whooping in Las Vegas. And that was just getting kicked out of places in Las Vegas, flying our whoops indoors and shit, almost crashing into art and getting chased out of the fucking arcade by the dude.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So who was who are some of your inspirations when it comes to vlogging?
To vlogging, I ain't really got no inspirations for vlogging. I kind of just mumble to the camera and edit. I don't really try to do anything, but I will say Drew's vlogs are beautiful. I love watching his shit. They're shot awesome. The angles and everything, the way they flow. I do like Ladrib's vlogs. I mean, Casey Neistat, it's like my guilty pleasure. I love watching Casey Neistat, and I feel like I shouldn't like him, but I really do, and I want to hang out with him and shit.
So have you met him?
No, he lives in New York, and I want to reach out to him because he's now getting into tiny whooping FPV. So I want to be like, bro, I'm Botgrinder. I live like 2 hours from you. Like, please let me be in a vlog or like be in one of mine or whatever. I want to reach out to him. I just want to find the most direct way. I'm trying to see if I know a lot of kids in New York. I'm trying to see somebody know somebody or something.
Right. There's got to be somebody that stumbles across him every now and again. You know what I mean? I seen him watched a video just the other day of him. The camera was focused on this lady sitting in a car with the door open, and somebody's playing Bob Marley. And I'm like, is that lady listening to fucking Bob Marley in her car? And he's just filming it. And all of a sudden, he kind of comes around the camera and he bends down and he's like, oh, this is how it starts. And then he turns to the camera and it's actually a dude playing an acoustic guitar and a guy playing like a conga or a bongo. And then another dude playing a harmonica, and they're doing Bob Marley, and like, they're pretty cool too. There's got to be somebody that that can hook you up with that dude.
Yeah.
I think it'd be pretty sweet. So, Ladrib is like, dude, I cannot remember whose video I saw you in first. I just slips my mind. But Ladrib is one of those cats that I reached out to as well, and I really would love to do a podcast with Ladrib. He's in the Midwest. He's in Michigan. I'm in Minnesota, and he seems like a down to earth kind of cat. I'm like you, man. I think that the way he shoots his stuff is like the FPV Casey Neistat. You know what I mean? Like he's the way he does it, the way his camera angles,
Yeah, I would agree with that statement. Yes.
his flying style is very flowy, you know what I mean? And it wasn't
Yep.
always like that, you know, like he really moved leaps and bounds when it comes to his flying style. I see you, dude, growing. I mean, I expected you to say you've been flying for a lot longer than a year and a half, because it seems like you've been getting better within the last couple months, man.
It's flying with Drew. I do owe just watching Drew fly in the goggles and the other pros in the goggles, and then flying and having the little tips from them has helped me. I think that's the most recent advent in skills or whatever, which I'm not the greatest pilot, but I'm a lot fucking better than I used to be, I feel like. And I definitely owe it to that, just flying with people better than you. They don't have to be pros either, man. Whatever level you're on, there's somebody better than you always. Fly with that person, and it'll step your game up.
Right.
My boy Cricket FPV in Baltimore, I try to meet up with him.
Yeah,
as
I
much
seen
as
him
possible.
tall, skinny brother, right?
Yeah, I love his fucking style, man. I try to hang out with him all the time just because he's so good and pushes me to be good. Because if you don't power loop that tiny little gap, he's gonna do it, make you look like a fool. So you might as well fucking try it, you know?
Yeah, give it a shot. So, I wanted to ask you about smoking. So smoking herb, man, do you think that it like it focuses you in? Do you really like zone out on what you're doing when you're flying and you're just in the moment? Do you feel like it enhances your focus a lot?
I don't know about that. Like, I'm always high, right? I'm just constantly smoking joints. So I don't know it's too big of a difference, but I will say my whole shit that I love doing is going somewhere where there's nobody else, and then putting headphones on and smoking weed, and then flying my packs from then on, just like feeling that shit. And that I do when I'm like conscious of that. Like, I want to try to get into the groove because I'm high and listening to music and like just flying the camera, basically. The gap, it says, that's the tip is fly the camera, not the drone. So flying the camera to music and thinking about what the edit will look like that is when weed comes into play, like that, you know. Laser focus, like I'm gonna make a sick edit, I'm gonna get really high and listen to music.
Right. Yeah. So I just wanted to say, man, I just did my first vlog 2 weeks ago, and I just got done doing a podcast. I was sitting in my studio, and I was actually watching one of your videos, and you know how they have the sidebar that has all like your next video up or whatever it is, and it was your vlog video and how to do your vlog, and you're like explaining it all, and I'm like, dude's like laying it out here, man. You know, I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to put my camera up and do it, you know? So I put my phone up and I did one, and it turned out pretty good. And I've only got, 42 subs. And honestly, man, I want to say thank you, because I actually, when I called you the other night and won the sticker pack, there's been like 2 or 3 pilots that actually give me subscriptions too, so it was really cool.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, fucking hit me up and said, nice to meet you and all that other stuff. That was really cool. So I appreciate you, taking the time to explain, vlogging and kind of how you do it and how you put it together, and just your
was that helpful at all? Because I feel like I was just rambling in that video.
No,
was any of that useful information?
It really was, man. It really was. And honestly, man, like I said off the air too, like I feel like you and I are very similar kinds of dudes, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we are into heavy stuff, obviously you're a better pilot than I am, but I think it was more of something I really was interested in watching than watching something. I mean, Casey Neistat's awesome. He's unbelievable. I've watched tons of his vlogs, and he gives me a ton of like camera angles. And I was showing my daughter, because she's starting to vlog as well. And she's 11 years old, and I'm like, I grabbed her and I go, look at this, look at how he's doing these camera angles, and I showed her, I'm like, it's 8 minutes long. Look at all the stuff that he's jamming in 8 minutes. So I thought it was more relatable when I watched your video than something that Casey had done, to be honest with you.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the whole thing, is I want everybody to see, like, I just stumbled into this fucking life, and like, you can too. I mean, you got to put in the work, but it's easy. You don't have to have fancy shit. You just got to be you and like have fun with it.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that, man. I just wanted to say thanks for inspiring me to do something like that. I do this podcast, and I ramble on, like you said. You felt like you rambled on in the car and all that shit. I feel like when I'm doing my podcast, I ramble on, and unfortunately I have 4 to 5 other people in the studio talking with me, so they can pull me back into in and out of my rambles.
Yep.
So all right, let me see here. And I already asked you this one off the air, so I'm not gonna ask you that one. But who are some of your favorite pilots, and who are some of your favorite pilots right now?
Top three. Vic Landing, Jeff Orta, Stinger Swarm. Those are my three, in no particular order. Those are just the three videos that I love. They're fucking flying. Like Stingy's the buddy. He's a fucking homie, but I've been a big fan of his before I ever met him and hung out with him. Same with Vortex, the Bando Slayer. Like his edits are so fucking, not just his flying, but then when he edits that shit, he does everything on beat, and it's so subtle but so like pleasing. I love his shit. And Vic Landing, I just found out about. I mean, I feel like I've been seeing his shit for a minute, but I haven't really paid attention to it till the past few months. But he does a little bit of vlogging, a little bit, but it's flying in a fucking park with 2 trees, the most boring spot. He kills it. And he makes me feel bad for being like, I don't want to fly that spot. There's nothing there. But like, Vic would have made the most fire edit out of this. Just tiny little invert fucking orbits and back and like crazy shit. He's a fucking man.
That's awesome.
I love a bunch of pilots. I watch everybody's fucking video. But top 3, Stinger Swarm, yeah, Vortex and Vic Landing.
Now, so you named a couple of your favorite pilots. Who are the ones out there that you look up to that you haven't met yet?
There's so fucking many people. Like the whole Rotor Riot crew and everything. I've gotten to meet everybody except Charpoo. I even got to meet Final Glide and hang out with him. But there's so many great pilots everywhere.
That was that was another question of mine too. You did get to meet Chad Nowak actually?
Oh yeah, we hung out and filmed an episode of Rotor Riot, and I shouldn't say it. On that episode I'm in, you could see me smoking weed in the background, and so it's the only episode of Rotor Riot where you can see me smoking fucking weed. And it was an accident too. I didn't know they were filming. I was just off in the distance on a rock by myself doing my thing, and they happened to film with me back there. But yeah, so
that's
I got
awesome.
to meet Chad make Stoner History or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, that's awesome. So like you said, you named Stingy Swarm as like your one of your favorite pilots. What was that like meeting him? Was it different?
I talked to him on the internet a little bit before International Open. That's where I met him. So I was like, I'm coming out, and he's like, oh, cool, it'd be great to meet you. I love your fucking vlogs, they're hilarious. And then we met, and I felt like I already knew him. He's just like this cool dude, and he was like, I love your vlogs because I feel like I already know you, and it reminds me of like my college punk rock days. And I was like, fuck yeah, Stingy's putting into punk rock. Like
nice.
He totally is. He may not look like it, but he's an old fucking punk rocker.
Nice.
And shit. So it was just like we were talking about music and shit, and just like the homie. Like immediately, I feel like I had a connection with him, and it was cool. And there was definitely like you get starstruck a little bit when you meet these people, but they were just fucking FPV pilots, and we're all there to fly, which is nice too, because when you meet a lot of people and like the pros, like they're as obsessed as you are. Like they just want to fly. Like when we're in Airbnbs with Rotor Riot, they just tiny whoop or Sims or fly the backyard. Like they gotta be flying FPV.
That's
totally
awesome,
how I am
man.
too. I was like, it's
God
great.
Damn, that's so cool, man. That is so cool. So, I mean, out of all the pilots that you've met through this whole thing, who was the most like starstruck that you were, or like fanboyed out when you met him?
I try not to fanboy at all, but I was like, man, it's hard because I mean, like Mr. Steele, everybody's seen Mr. Steele. Willie and John, I don't know, there was so fucking many.
Yeah, Wild Willie, I actually met him here in Minneapolis.
My answer for that is Chad Capper, really.
Yeah.
Like meeting Capper, because he had like done so much for me up until a point. Before I met him, he like hooked me up with a few parts here and there and a lot of encouragement and to keep vlogging. You're really funny. I enjoy your shit. You got something, like keep going. He was a huge inspiration and encouragement for me. So meeting Capper, that was a thing. Like this motherfucker is half the reason I'm doing this shit because he's been like keep doing it. So meeting him was just like, oh, this whole fucking thing.
Yeah. Is he really tall? He seems like he's a tall dude.
He's a tall motherfucker, yeah.
Yeah.
He's not reach.
Yeah, he seems like he's very, very cool too. Like laid back.
Yeah, definitely. He's a fucking sweetheart.
All right, here's one off the cuff. Who are some of your favorite porn stars, old and new?
I don't have any at all. Like I'm into porn for like 20 seconds and go about my day. That's about it.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, man. Back in the day, I used to work at a porn shop, so it was like I had the plethora. I had giant boxes full of VHS, and I told my one buddy that when I pawned my VCR back in the day, the guy asked me, he's like, does this thing work all right? We're gonna test it or whatever, and I go, yeah, the fast forward, you might have to work through the tracking because I use the fast forward. I thought it was kind of silly, man, but I just wanted to throw that one in there. Music scene. How's the music scene in Philly? Is it, you go to a lot of shows? You check a lot of things out?
A lot of DB right now. The scene is huge. In the summer, there's several shows a week. You have to like constantly choose your fucking show. In the like 2 days, my buddy just texted me. He works for a venue, so he gets free tickets down. Then I'm gonna go see Municipal Waste.
Nice.
And somebody else that I was less excited about. I want to say Exodus. That might be fucking wrong or whatever, but yeah, Exodus and Municipal Waste. Never seen Municipal Waste. Use their music in my vlogs, so I would like to talk to them. And be like, bro. Plus, I have an in with them. My boys were American Cheeseburger. Were they named? This is how you turn a party into art or whatever. It was like a thing from Cheeseburger that Municipal Waste used. So if I ever meet them, I'll be like, American Cheeseburger. All right, now let's talk. You know. What I mean?
Right. There you go.
I used to live in Athens. My band Gripe was in Athens and shit. So, I mean, for shows, yeah, there's always fucking shows. A lot of DB shows. I go to a show every fucking week. I love it. I love that I'm 40 and I can still go to basement fucking punk shows every week.
What'd you say? How old are you?
37.
37. Oh, so you said you were 40. And so when I bought my Phantom, so I get a hold of the dude and I'm like, hey man, I'm interested in buying the Phantom. And the guy's like, yeah, well, I'm 40 years old. He's like, I figure, nobody at 40 plays with drones. And I just kind of I just started laughing. I'm like, okay, all right, well, I'm fucking 44 and I'll be playing with drones all day till I die, bitch. Yep. So yeah, absolutely, man. Let me see here. What are some of the in some of your videos, and other people have said it in some of your videos, or they've alluded to it, you like free stuff. In the one video you were like, hey, is this free? Hey, is this free? That was one of the greatest videos, the Star Wars one.
Yeah. That was so annoying to everybody involved in that too, because I said that shit a lot, and I cut out a lot of it and made it however long it was, which is still pretty long. Especially Drew, he's just like, this fucking bit. But it worked. I thought it was hilarious, and I fucking did it, whatever. But that's my old hobo tendencies, like, free shit, I ain't gonna pass that up, give me that.
Yeah.
And some people, I despise that attitude, but like, dog, whatever, do your thing. Just let me do fucking me. I ain't hurting you,
Right, absolutely, man.
Which I still like, but now I try to, give back. Like, a company sends me free shit, I'm gonna do a review video on it. Let people fucking know if it's good or not. Yeah. But I appreciate free shit. Keeps me in the air without having to fucking spend money.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be expensive, man. For those of you that have never flown drones or even looked into them, I mean, even a tiny whoop these days is, they're going down in price nowadays. I think I got one of those, Beta FPV 65Ss or whatever. I have that for
I love those. I love those as a bind and fly. Those are great.
Now I had some weird. So my buddy Kyle was talking about it having weird. Rate settings on it, that it's not the same as the Inductrix stock, where it's you can kind of feel like the Inductrix is leading you a little bit better and it's not as tight. But when you fly your whoop, question is, do you fly an acro?
Both. When I race, I do it at angle. I do acro whooping. I've been getting more into it recently. I actually have a bunch of footage I need to edit of acro whooping I haven't posted, so I do fuck around with it like outdoors. I'm no good at it indoors.
Yeah.
But when we were at like quad camp, there's this really cool thing, and I was like doing mini building dives with it, like spinning through this little square thing on the way down, like completely like trying to do it, but just barely making it, and it looked cool.
Now
like
with,
that.
with the motors,
racing angle mode.
Are the motors like real difficult because they don't have a ton of power to lift you back up?
Oh no, I got 19,000 kVs on mine.
Nice.
On my my Alien Whoop rig has the 19,000s, and then my Beta Whoop has a stock 17,500s, and those I have plenty of power in there.
Nice. I'm gonna have to check into that because I really want to try. I've got to learn how to fly acro big time. I wanted to. I do it with my Torrent, but it's there's something with the Torrent too that's it's not. It seems like. So I moved from a whoop to a Torrent, and I wanted to learn acro with the Torrent because it's just a little bit, it's not a full 5-inch, and I thought that it would be easy for me to learn. It seemed harder because it was, even in when there was a little bit of wind, it seemed like it just pulled it to one side. It was real kind of sloppy, And even when you're dipping through trees and trying to go up over the trees, it seemed like as soon as you got over those trees, it just yank you with the wind. It was. It didn't seem like it was heavy enough. Did you notice when you started flying 5-inch quads that did it have enough, weight to it to be able to be stable in the wind?
I mean, I went right to 5-inch. Yeah, I was flying around the west. I fly around in the wind now. Your video's gonna be all shitty. It's gonna be all shaky, but It's different. You just gotta fuck with it. When you're going into the wind, you know, you don't try to do nothing too motor hungry, and you going with the wind, you can do whatever and pushes you.
So,
But not ideally, but I'll fly in the wind.
now I kind of jumped away from the question, but I wanted to ask you, what has been the coolest free thing that you've received?
Shit. There's boxes of things. Fucking A, I don't even know, man. I'm about to get a fucking no. Why do I fucking know? Yes, I do know. Zorro, not FPV, painted me a fucking big ass picture of like this cool character of my head. That was my favorite thing I ever got.
Nice. Very cool. Now, how was it meeting Zorro in Vegas? It seemed like you guys must have been corresponding back and forth with each other
For a fucking year or something.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Forever. Yeah, yeah. I love his videos. He is like I love watching his fucking shit. Like as far as videos go, Zorro's probably my favorite. But we just talked forever. We were homies. We were already homies before we ever met. And then we met. It was like, "Want to smoke a blunt? Tight, let's go."
Right. Nice.
For that week, I was hanging out with the fucking homie. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. The video when you guys are going up and down the escalator, and he's like,
Yeah.
"That was."
I made him.
Awesome.
We
Man.
did that a bunch. He did a bunch of takes of that, and I just threw a couple in there.
Very cool, man. Very cool. So, explain what the quad camp is that you guys were doing this in Vegas.
That's quad camp is for 2 days. You build your quads, you diagnose issues, you fly, you hang out with the pros, you go to cool spots, and just anything that you need. Like if you want to build an entire quad from scratch, you can buy parts, you can bring pre-bought parts, and there'll be one of the Rotor Riot, a few of the Rotor Riot guys. Sometimes Josh Bardwell, sometimes Vortex, sometimes I'm there. You build your quad, you tune your quad, you have an issue, something ain't working, we'll diagnose it, get it all sorted for you. We're there to help you fly quads.
Very
and then
cool.
if you even just want to go to like spots and like learn tricks, there's always that day too. You can go and just fly, be like, how do I power loop? How do I do this? And the pros are there. You watch them in the goggles. They'll show you how to do it. You do it.
Nice, very cool. So, is it totally open to the public, 100%?
It's you have to buy tickets. There's 2 days, so you have to buy a ticket for each day, or they have a combo pack, or whatever it is.
Is that you just Google the quad camp stuff and they have them set up, or what?
Yeah, quadcamp.com. You can go over there and buy your tickets.
So how can people get in touch with you, Botgrinder? What is there anything that you want to push? Is there anything that you would like to have people come to your YouTube channel, check out your videos, anything like that?
I mean, really, if you're in a fucking band and you want me to put your music in my video, of like 7,000 subscribers, I would love to put your music in my video because I've been meaning to start supporting more independent artists and shit, not just steal stuff from YouTube.
Well,
Botgrinder@gmail is my my email. If you ever want to collab, throw me some music, I'll put you in a video, link your band or whatever.
dude, I've got a stack of you can't see it off camera right here, but I've got a stack of CDs that I would love to send to you from Minneapolis. We've got one of the most badass scenes here. The Twin Cities has all kinds of heavy music, and they always give it to me.
You in Minneapolis, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I've been to Minneapolis many times. I've stayed there for 6 months at a time with homies.
Yeah,
There's
awesome,
a great
man.
scene there.
Yeah, it's a great scene. There's a lot of shit going on, and I have a couple friends that actually run labels, and I get that they send me a lot of stuff for promo, and I put it on the station, and I always review and have the bands come in here. I just had a band called Reaping Asmodea. If you've never heard of those guys, they're on Prosthetic Records. They're fucking really badass. This Friday, I'm actually doing a podcast with a band called Buried Above Ground. They're really cool. They're up and coming. They're going to be doing a tour with Carnifex here real soon. So
Nice.
yeah, I would love to send you some stuff. I'm actually in a band as well called Outside the Murder. If you want, dude, I'd love to send you some stuff. I'd love to be watching one of your videos and see you throw down one of my songs. It'd be the shit.
Yeah, man, send me some shit. See what I can do. If not a flight, definitely a transition in the vlog. You know,
There you go.
I like to do little metal things and punk things with it.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
about to roll a cigarette out of my ashtray because I didn't grab any more.
Man.
Don't mind me.
No, it's all good, man. So how can people get in touch with? Oh, I wanted to ask you this too. So I'm really interested in this whole Patreon thing. I've never ran a Patreon, and I really want to release one. How has it been received for you? Do you have a lot of subscribers on Patreon?
Yeah, I think I have 81, like fluctuating between like 75 and 80 right now. All awesome fucking people. Like pretty much all the patrons I recognize their name from around Facebook and YouTube and shit, which I fucking love. And it's just going great. People, once a month I have a contest that you win something. You know, last month I did Botgrinder motors before they were released. Before that, I did a couple BQE frames. I did some bind and fly quads. Just like pretty cool shit. If you're a $10 and above patron or whatever, I have the ultimate $500 stalker level where if you give me $500, I'll buy a plane ticket and come fly with you. And nobody's taking me up on that yet, but I think that's fucking hilarious to have on there.
Yeah, I was looking at some of your when you said you had a Patreon. So when you do content on there, how does that work? Because you do a lot of content anyway on YouTube. You are already pushing all your videos and flight videos and vlogs and stuff like that. So what do you put on there for content, and how is the levels like? How do you secure that stuff? I mean, because you're already putting all that content out on YouTube.
So there's only been a couple like patron only videos. One of the last ones was when me and Joshua Bardwell gorilla whoop in the restaurant we were eating in while I was getting drunk, which I was like, I don't want to release this all over the place, so I'll do it patrons only. And I put that on there. I mean, keep meaning to do more and do more for the patrons. I've just been super fucking busy and I've been broke, but I do have my patron money now, so I'm planning on doing like lipo straps and things like that, which says on there, but I don't have like everybody's address. So my whole thing was like, if you subscribe to my Patreon, fucking send me a message and say I'm a new patron. Give me my lipo straps and I'll send them. Because some people were like, "What the fuck?" I didn't like automatically get them, and I was like, "Oh, I wasn't that clear about it. Like, I don't automatically send them out. You got to hit me up and shit."
Oh, nice.
But I try to like be in communication. I check it all the fucking time, all my messages and everything. And I keep saying I'm planning on doing more. I should just fucking do it. Quit saying it. Because I do. I live off that fucking shit. I ain't making that much at Quad Box, so I do really rely on the fucking patron money, and I want everybody, me included, to be happy with it, you know.
So how long did you fly today? Did you fly it all today?
I got back from Vegas 2 days ago. I haven't flown since. Been about 3-day break or so. The weather's been shitty, and on nice days, I'm like, oh, I gotta clean my fucking house. I haven't done that for a week or something. And I just sit down and play PUBG for 5 fucking hours and don't do anything.
Yeah.
But the weather's gonna be stable in the 40s and fucking not raining, so I'm gonna go fly tomorrow. I gotta test this damn Botgrinder frame more.
Awesome, man. So they can check you out on YouTube, your YouTube channel, Botgrinder on YouTube.
Yeah, Botgrinder FPV, little robot head. That's me.
That's you. You want to make sure that people maybe go to your Patreon page and become a Patreon fan of his and donate to Botgrinder. Help him keep in the air. Buy his Botgrinder when he comes out, the frame. Buy his Botgrinder motors. Yep, buy the motors and subscribe to Quadbox. Get out there and Botgrinder's behind the wheel on that now. He's one of the guys running the machine. So make sure you sign up for Quadbox and giving you mad shout outs there, Capper. So yeah, do a podcast with me, Capper. But yeah, you too, Drew. I'd love to do a podcast with Drew, man. It'd be sweet. But yeah, man, get out there, subscribe, show some love to Botgrinder. Dude, I'm so appreciative for you to take your time out of your day to do this podcast, and it means a lot, dude. You're big inspiration, man. You're a big inspiration.
Oh yeah, bro. I appreciate that. Fucking fly. It's so fun. It's such a crazy futuristic thing we get to do. Fucking enjoy it, you know.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Is there anything that you would like to say to the fans or to the listeners right now?
Yeah, thank you for listening to my fucking stoned ass talk about drones and shit. I appreciate that. Keep your eye open for No Applause. We'll be dropping fucking 90s fastcore real soon here. Some good fucking shit. It'll definitely be in my vlogs.
You let me know, man, if you ever want to come out to Minneapolis. I book at a club out here, Lee's Liquor Lounge in Minneapolis. I'd love to set up a show. If you're ever coming out this way, man, let me know. We'll get together and blaze.
Do a show and rip around a little bit. It'd be fucking great.
Fuck yeah. I'll make sure you get some gas cash and get you a place to stay and some food and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. Appreciate it. Fucking A.
That would be badass.
It's been a while.
It's been a fucking pleasure to have you, man. It's a pleasure to meet you. I was super nervous today. I thought I'm like fucking telling everybody, dude, I got Botgrinder. I work with 2 guys in this little shop, right? We repair tools, work for one of the biggest construction companies here in the Twin Cities. So it's like us 3 guys in this shop, and they hear me talk about drones all the time. They're like, well, so what's up with the drones this weekend? What'd you do this weekend? You know what I mean? And so
I know the feeling.
I've been doing this podcast for, going on 6 years, and I got in touch with you. You got in touch with me, and I was so stoked about it. I ran to work, and I'm like, dude, you remember me talking about that Botgrinder, dude? Like I have my phone watching one of your videos, and they'll stop by as they walk by my bench. I'm like, what the fuck are you watching, dude? I'm like, fucking Botgrinder, dude. Look, watch him flip over this shit. That's fucking awesome, man. And so then I was like, dude's gonna do an interview with me. They're like, no way. I'm like, fuck yeah, man. Dude's got, what do you have? You're up to what, 7,000 subscribers now or something
just
close
about.
to that? Badass. Congrats on that too, man. And congrats on the
Thank
motors. You. Congrats on the frames, quad box, all that shit, man. Nothing but love, dude. I appreciate you taking the time again, man. Hopefully you had a good time.
Oh, I had a blast. This is great. This is one of the funner ones. I like when it's easy like this,
Hell
when
yeah.
it's fun.
All right, folks. Thank you very much for listening. And don't forget to go to ritualmadnesspodcast.com. I'll be putting this up pretty quick here. So I'm going to have it on the Stitcher feed and all over wherever I put up the podcast and all that other good stuff. I should have the video up shortly too as well. Thank you for checking it out. Thank you for listening to me and Botgrinder babble about drones. We appreciate it. Make sure you check everything out. Peace out, y'all.
Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual Madness Podcast.